All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful evening. It is once again Thursday after an absolutely wild and historic week. I wasn't even here yesterday. I was too tired after all the election. And did you know? But after that move that we had yesterday on the market, that was the biggest post-election move that we have ever had. So there was a lot going on, and then today we had Jerome Powell. We got a little bit of info, and by the end of this video, I'm going to remind you because we got something right around the corner, man. It's not over, and we still got to take it into the end of the year. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of interpretation, even overseas, domestically, all of that. And then not only are we having a live watch list right now, we are going to have a very special live watch list, yes. So after I'm done with this whole keys, plays, all of that, I have all the good stuff for you. We are going to go and do a Zoom call, and we're going to do what we did on election night. If you didn't know, I was not live, but we did have something there. We were talking about it on stream. That's why you got to be on stream, man. YouTube.com/thestockmarket. I'm literally trying to even find you it. And it don't even show up in my own notifications. So the best thing you could do, youtube.com/the stock. Oh, look, I already did it. The stock market /live. That'll take you there. We're going to schedule a stream. I had to delete all of them, but hopefully we'll be able to keep some of them up. That's why you got to be there. Hopefully we'll be able to keep. You got to be there, but oh my goodness. So we have a lot to talk about, though. I am very, very excited, and honestly, the animal spirits in the market, they are very excited as well, and shout out to the long term, all that good stuff. So bear with me, my people, on the recap. But now, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What up, chat? How we living? What up, Star? What's going on? Daigle, TM, Brian. I want to be like Mike. Pow, pow, pow. Oh, what up, Jay, baby? I'm glad we're streaming too. Yeah, there's no plans to stop streaming. So all is well. All is well in the neighborhood. What up, Luis? Darkpool, El Chapato, Zydeer, Graham, 1v1, Moses, Luis, Stock Trading. What up, baby? How we living, Dr. James Cash? What's going on, Krista? Simon, Larky, Noah, most open. You feel me? I feel you, bro. You feel me? Oh, let's go, baby. What up, Nope? What up, Mark? What up, Mr. Orman? So some of you guys were there on the Zoom. Like I said, we're going to go over the keys. I'm going to make you wait, and we're going to have fun because usually on these live watch lists, we do the Q&A and we have time to go over stuff, but let's talk. We could talk. I mean, there's a lot of big things going on, my friends. So on that note, let's get right into it. Oh, man, I don't know if – that's the watch list. There it is. So right off the bat, man, today and Jerome Powell, that's the first thing. I mean, obviously, we could talk about the election and all of that, but really, Jerome Powell, that economic shift, the rate path, I truly believe that is still the most important thing. I don't know if you remember before there was any election, Kamala or Trump, I did have a lot of theories. So even when I said Trump, if he got elected, deflation and other things, I am still concerned about that. But the good part, we got a little bit of time to see what's going to happen. But today with Jerome Powell, he kind of helped alleviate that, but it was a very awkward meeting. I was talking about it all day today. I even brought it up earlier, why it was an awkward meeting, because you just had this election. There is a big shift. People were dramatically changing rate cut odds following the win of Trump. So it was moving things around. We don't get a SEP till December. So Powell was just about to go up there. He was still going to cut rates while long-term rate cut expectations were changing. So what was he really going to say? And that's why it was a little bit awkward, and I'll show you what was truly awkward about it. But at the end of the day, it was a little bit better than I expected. The title, Jerome Powell is bullish. He did say he is not in or out for any December cut. He did introduce that doubt for the cut, and now over the next two CPIs and job reports till then, everybody is going to be debating, is he going to cut? Is he going to cut? So you remember that dynamic. We are quickly going to move back to that. I don't know if you've noticed how, some people are sad about the victory, but there are people just quickly moving on. I mean, go look at Bloomberg, businesses as usual, world leaders, all of that stuff. So keep that in mind. But what we ended up happening here, when the statement came out in Jerome Powell, they cut the rates today, it read very hawkish, but the press conference was dovish. So this is why the rate cut odds kind of moved around today. But here is the Nick Timmerhouse tweet. And we're even going to talk about Twitter here today. But these were the changes in the statement. Actually, let me get to it here. So I don't know if you could zoom in or not, but these were what we got right when we came out. Remember, Jerome Powell comes out 30 minutes later. So they changed labor market slowing. They said instead of slowed, they put generally eased. That's a little bit hawkish. Then this line right here. Previously, at the last FOMC, they said that the committee has gained greater confidence that inflation is moving towards the goal. They took that out. So they X'd out the phrase that said inflation moving towards the goal, and all they put was the committee judges the risk to inflation goals are roughly in balance. So that right there, that was interpreted as hawkish. You keep going down here. The last FOMC, they said the progress on inflation and the balance of risks. They literally got rid of the phrase progress on inflation. Remember, core CPI, that ticked up for the first time in like 2 years. So that was kind of addressing that. But right when that came out, you had a reaction there. The bonds kind of vomited, and even the rate cut odds, even out to December, that already was hawkish. So that's why I'm saying it read hawkishly. And what made it so awkward is when Powell came on, he was generally dovish. He did introduce his doubt. He didn't rule anything out. He brought back his optionality, but he said he expects inflation to still keep coming down. He said he expects the economy to keep going, but they are monitoring everything. So really, I talked about this today. Yeah, things are great, and I'm just a little bit cautious. Just essentially, we are going to be going back to that data-dependent mode. It's very simple. If the data doesn't shift, I don't think Powell is going to do anything. So we're going to talk about it, but generally, he was confident about lower rates and inflation. However, he did not give guidance, and now that is going to be the doubt that we're going to have to be working through over the next month and a half as we get the other parts of the data. So that is your first key. Now, let's talk about the election a little bit. I mean, what was I getting you guys prepared for? All of the Trump trades. So I don't know if you remember that chart that I was showing you with the sweep odds. Remember, I was showing you, this was weeks ago. Honestly, man, if you actually go, I think it was, I don't even have to look it up. If you go here again on one of the prior watch lists, I think, the stock market, how to make money off the election. All of these, bro, we talked about them. And there's, hi. I want to I want to see if I could get the chart, or I could just go start looking for the, right here. See, I'm saying it's in this video. I brought this up prior, and in these videos, I was fervently reminding you guys to be prepared. Remember, I was telling you, it's weird everybody keeps talking about the treasuries, but why are they not talking about everything else? It was very last minute, but I want you to go notice what actually happened. That's why we made that play on KRE. Go look. The number one winner besides crypto the day after, it was regional banks. Now, oil, that's actually in a weird spot. It did go up, but small caps, they went crazy. And then you did watch a drop in gold and then the Mexican peso. So all of this stuff, man, you had to jump on it. And why I'm bringing that up, because, let everybody digest the election, but look how big this reaction was. It was one of the biggest in history, and this is why I was telling you, be prepared, because people are already prepared, and they're going to start running on these ideas. And now week after week, month after month, until we get into everything, all of these ideas are going to play out. So hopefully you already have a good handle on these trades, the Trump trade, and then you keep an ear on what's going to happen. But now this is kind of the problem. If all of those things were great preparation, the one part that I was still telling you, and this has yet to happen, this was a massive move, but when do we sell the rip? That was part of my initial projection. Like I was telling you, I still stand by it. If Donald Trump wins, we were going to get a risk-on moment, the deregulation, the animal spirits, crypto, all of this stuff. But now there is going to be a point where we sell the rip. And honestly, I do not know when. This is going to be the problem. Now, given we just had Powell, it seems logical that any rip rally continuation, it'll probably be dictated by the data. Again, we have 2 CPIs and 2 job reports ahead of the next Powell. So that could be a spot. However, you have Bank of Japan in December. You have global conflicts. They are either going to continue or they're going to end. And then you have to balance, oh my gosh, are the tariffs going to cause inflation? Is Donald Trump going to ruin the economy? Even today, they say, I don't even know who the experts are, but they said it is a little bit overstated. So these are all the things they're going to have to balance, but pretty much it will be risk on from like now until January is what I'm thinking. And then as we get into the inauguration, we hear more about policy, the cabinet, and then you get the new year and now 2025 and 2026 odds and different guidance. That's where maybe we get out of the honeymoon phase and then we go from there. But then you enter the first 100 days of the presidency. So we'll see how it all plays out. But I think you have risk on up until January, until one of these events or something gives us that new narrative or we actually see the impact. But right now, man, economy is expected to do good. You haven't had bad earnings. People are generally positive financially on Donald Trump. Again, even Powell mentioned it today. The worry of Trump, I'm telling you, I really think this is the problem with like all of the division we've had is like you have to unwind some of these ideas. But I'm telling you, if it is going to be worried about Trump with inflation, right now people are worried about economic activity, not necessarily policy or deficit. You got to realize you just went through 4 crazy years of the deficit and a lot of crazy spending. That has really run its course, and there's already a lot of things that have impacted that. So I hope you guys are getting it's the risk-on environment. That is what is giving you this impulse, and that could drive things, and that's what even Powell has even discussed today. So watch out for that, but like I'm saying, we got to see, let it take time, and then we'll go out from there. But that is your third key, and now I'll even just tell you this. I was thinking about it, man, even how Powell acted today, because dude, it was kind of humorous. He sounded exactly the same, even though everybody's freaking out and the market moved big off the Trump trade, currencies are moving. Powell was just generally exactly the same as before. He's confident inflation and everything's going down, and he was not worried about the policy. He said he's not commenting on it. He made that very clear on the record, so it's not like you can literally say he said that verbatim, but given his attitude, that was what I got out of it. But the thing about it is, like, if Powell, let me just put it this way, is the Fed going to respond to any inflation caused by tariffs? I think they will, but I think they will do it too late. I hope you all understand this. Why do I say that? Because Powell did the exact same thing when Joe Biden introduced a massive new policy. Eventually, he went on his Volcker mode, but he let it run for like a year and a half and waited till things happen, and then he responded. I don't think the Fed has been good at predicting. They have been very good at reacting, if you really want to look at it that way. So that's why I'm saying I think a lot of people in the market and other people are worried about inflation and that reigniting, but based on Powell, I think he is just going to be super patient. And again, this is why I'm saying we're going to just fall back right into that data mode. So yeah, he is just going to fall. So get ready for it. We'll see what happens. But now, your final key. Oh my gosh. Hi, my name's Elmo. No, yeah, voice crack. But your final key. I'm just excited. Bro, I told you I'm going to give you something, man. We are so distracted. Like I'm telling you, the data is important. And literally next week, you're getting CPI. So isn't that and then again, we'll see. Maybe the data changes. Maybe the data becomes a little bit more clear. Are we going to still, or maybe the data is going to look good on Biden's exit, or maybe it kind of crumbles there at the end. We'll find out. But fact of the matter is, like I'm saying, if anything is going to move the market and get us, stop and go, green light a rally, or kind of slow it down, it's probably going to be the data or those other events that I just told you above. So CPI is next week. And like I'm saying, tied into Powell because he is going to be waiting on that data. So we'll see where it all takes us. It should be a good time. But in the meantime, I mean, hey, I hope you got some of those Trump trades in prepared. And if not, your long-term should be, it's a good time to have a long-term. But now, let us get into the plays. So, right off the bat, man, Tesla. This one is the big winner of the election. Elon was buddy with Trump and EV. If anybody, a lot of the EV and clean energy, they didn't do good. So people are kind of viewing Elon and Tesla as kind of a winner take all. I mean, he did get neglected from the last 4 years when it came to the EV and government. So maybe it balances out in the long run. But when it's all said and done, I think this is the big winner of the election so far. And why I'm bringing this up, because it is at that $300 level. And it did not get above that in 2023. That's where I was like, damn, that is actually wild, because there was a lot that happened in 2023. And now, even with all this going on, it's like I feel like above 300, that's when the world is in favor of Elon. When Tesla goes below, it's kind of, because remember, like 2023, bro, they were Wall Street Journal, the articles, they were like, he got 18 baby mamas. He impregnated 18 CEOs of 14 companies. He was just coming out. He was doing ketamine. I could go down the list. He couldn't catch a break. Then they're like, he's a MAGA. He's a MAGA supporter. He had the red hat. He bought $44 billion. He spent $44 billion. He's you got to really, I'm being dead serious. I know it's hilarious, but it's like, that's actually what has happened. And remember, I had those, it's ironic. I had child support too. I played Tesla during this. I mean, you guys were here. You guys got to see a lot of this stuff in real time. And that's why I'm like, man, that $300 level, this is like, all right, bro, optimistic. You loved Elon here. You put him on Saturday Night Live when this thing was above 300. You know what I'm saying? Below here, you got Jen, Psaki, and Corinne. We hate you. He's the devil. So this is going to be a great opportunity. It has all of it. I like it. Again, I wouldn't add it to the long term just because I think it's expensive and you could get a better deal. But relatively, you compare remember, this used to be a leader, man. So, I mean, compared to the Amazons, the Googles, the Metas, those pale in comparison. Tesla already ran up. But, if you want to tell me, again, we're in a world of Meta's $1.4 trillion. Google is, what happened? I think Google's probably $2 trillion. Yeah, 1.2. Add the other ticker. Amazon's only $400 billion, so they got a little bit more upside. But for Tesla right now, still below $1 trillion. I mean, that's why I'm saying the $300 level, it's there. But if they really want to get crazy, AI regulation. But I'm just excited for it. I think it'll be a good momentum thing, but I am not a fan of the long term there. So we'll see how it plays. Oh, Horn. We'll see how it plays out. I don't have it. And then, bro, I also brought it up there with Tesla. Bro, I think Twitter was a great investment for Elon. I think Twitter just advanced the news to a degree, and it's insane. I'm even going to tell you now. I have my secret Twitter because they used to clap you. My Twitter is very uncensored, okay? Okay, my Twitter, so you can't judge me on it, but I'll tell you my Twitter, okay? Only for you guys here right now. That's it. I got it. It's called Real Cult News. That's it. But if you get offended easily, you may not like it. But I don't say too much, but I retweet. Retweet is not an endorsement. Don't trust anyone. Not a recommendation. Okay, Real Cult News. Real Cult News. I'll see you there, man. Oh, yeah, I still call it Twitter. I know. I'm down with Twitter. But at the end of the day, like I'm saying, with how it played, and why I say this, because, dude, you remember back in the day using Twitter for news. It was very important. But even how this election cycle played out, a lot of the info, and now with Trump back, bro, I'm telling you, Twitter is going to be a whole new ball game. So that's why I'm like, man, it's going to be interesting. And I think that bodes well for Elon. Again, they said it was a bad investment, but I mean, I think that investment kind of changed the landscape of American politics. So even if people rejected it as an advertiser, I mean, I think it really emerged as a winner here when it's all said and done, both monetarily or not. So we'll see how it plays out, but that is play number one. And then play number two, KRE. So this one, man, this was the favorite one. I was telling you, if they're shorting bonds and only talking about short bonds on the Trump trade, I remember I was telling you they're buying something else. I think we were on a live watch list when I told you that. And in this case, I think it was regional banks. So we got to make our plays free before. I had those plays out to March. I'm going to be riding this out till January and March again when we have that little window of the sell the rip. I think that January till March, this thing should start to go. And if you don't understand why regionals are benefiting, it is because of deregulation. Again, Donald and his cabinet and the people he has there, they lean towards deregulation. That is the general idea, especially with a red Congress. So why is that good for regional banks? They're talking about, remember, Basel III and the liquidity requirements and all of these things that could kind of restrict capital. You could argue more necessity or out of necessity or not, but banks didn't like it. It tied them up. It limited them. This is going to allow a little bit more deregulation and, again, competition for the middle markets. I think it'll be great. It'll be easier for the credit unions and again, the middle market because, again, if you don't have high restrictions, it's easier to compete in finance and banking. right? If you're not held to a massive international standard, it's going to allow you to actually be able to compete. That's why it's a massive move, especially under the Red Congress. So that was the big play. I told you it prior, so I hope it helped out. But that one, I think, is going to even play out over the next couple months. Remember, they have a long way to recover out of SVB. And again, the risk is still there with banks, but until, again, economy, data, something happens, you are going to be in melt-up golden path mode now. I think they're just going to call it the Trump trade, but we will see. And then, remember what I was telling you guys as far as like gold and even for the bonds, and now even for the regionals too, the Treasury. So remember when I was telling you that the Treasury update, that could dictate a lot of things. So far, I told you guys John Paulson before, but right now these seem to be the two candidates. So if you want to go look these guys up, Scott Bessent, he's a hedge fund manager, John Paulson, money manager, and I like John Paulson a lot. I think he's a very, competent, educated man, but these are our two guys right now. I'd get familiar with what they support, what they do, what they like, because I think you'll be able to be prepared and decide, okay, is that going to be more hawkish for spending or not? And then we're going to see what happens with that. So that is play number 2. And then finally, I need water. Baba. Bro, China is a trip. I think China is a huge wild card. It's even running up right now after hours. And I don't even know what to do with China. That's why I think it's a play. I don't think anybody has a clue right now. It's really, and dude, are you ready for this? This is going to blow your mind. And why I say this, and I have a fun fact that's going to blow your mind. No, serious, I'm being dead serious. I think I have a volatility in my mind of the whole situation. That's why I'm telling you, I don't think a lot of people know how this is going to play out. People are worried about the Trump stuff. Donald will definitely be more harsh towards China, and that would be negative. They're trying to recover. Their stimulus isn't taking hold, all of that. But then again, they just did a lot of stimulus. Even tonight, tomorrow, they are having a meeting, and they're going to be looking for stimulus again tonight. So even by the time you wake up tomorrow, we might be reacting to China's stimulus. But unless it disappoints right now. But the fact of the matter is, I thought that would get affected by Trump. But then what happened today, China had good economic data. And I was telling you that after the stimulus, you're going to get something called the green shoot. China is kind of known for randomly running up that data more or less. So that's where I'm like, okay, Trump is going to be harsh. But if their data and stimulus, if they really double down and go hard on it, then we'll see what happens. But now, here's the fun fact. Are you ready? How much percent tariffs do you think the Chinese economy can handle? Analysts are floating a number right now. But I want to see what you guys think. So again, Trump is talking about, the most aggressive one he's talked about is a 60% blanket tariff. That's the most aggressive that Trump has proposed towards China. What do you think would be the max that they could tolerate? Or what do you think analysts think that they could tolerate with that before it really starts to hit them? And for the Daily Double, the answer is 15 to 20%. So right now, that's the number they're floating around. If you don't understand what I'm saying, that means if Trump put out a 20% tariff on all Chinese goods, the market and analysts are borderline prepared for that. That's what they're saying China could tolerate while still doing stimulus and while still having stimulus in the back pocket. So that's kind of optimistic to a degree. I don't think that's that bad. If you know what I'm saying, that 20% tariffs on everything, that's their threshold before it's so that means that extra 40%, that's your bargaining power essentially. You see what I'm saying? So Trump starting the negotiations at 60, they could handle 20 before there's any effect. So we'll see what happens with all of that. But that's why I'm saying China, man, this is going to be wild. Trump should hurt it, but the data is good, and I think it's going to be volatile. This is truly a wild card. It's a gigantic economy, and they've had so much going on and all the stimulus and all that. So we'll see what happens, but that is the final plays. And now I made a lot of plays, but I keep them small, man. And this is the thing. I'll even tell you, I'm going just in the case of like I've been telling you so far, we've had wild moves, all-time highs. There's been a good opportunity for cheaper options, but if we start getting some of these like big bursts, I think after this, because I've been looking at them, it may be time to start honing in closer to the money. But it's going to cost you more money, but you're going to have to get, I think you're going to get a lot more stop and go volatility. Right now we're enjoying the good part of Trump, but that's why I'm saying maybe closer to the money. But I've been throwing out a lot of these little small plays. Some of them are good. Again, I even closed out one of them from a couple weeks ago for 1,000%. That was the Excel. But yesterday, so again, this is today and yesterday, but yesterday I started the morning with Palantir. I grabbed 2 of the 60 calls for 10 cents. I sold one at 17. I don't know if they're up or down. They went up like 100 or 200% at one point, but still got one of those for free. Then I grabbed Intel March 55. So again, I'm going out January to March, and I grabbed 5 of them at 9 cents, so like $45. But Intel, like I'm saying, this is far at the money. The plays go up a little bit, even with the TLT, but these were already massive moves. So if you want to capture the immediate Trump gains, you might want to get closer to the money. So that's what I'm going to start honing in on as we watch some of these plays develop. But I'm throwing out a lot of these cheap ones. I grabbed the Intel. This one, I just think Trump is going to be massively bullish for Intel, given the CHIPS Act. They haven't got the money, but we're talking tariffs, make it in America, even AI and critical technology. And I think Intel, I hope they don't blow it, but they should have an easier time with Trump. Otherwise, we'll see what happens, but I still own my shares. They're clapped, and even in the long term, I am even considering it, so we'll see. And then Newmark, I like this play a lot. Newmark, Howard Lutnick is on the board of Newmark, and Howard Lutnick is the co-chair of Trump's transition team right now. And here's the kicker. Are you ready for this? We don't know, and he declines to comment. We don't know if he is going to take on a official role in the cabinet. So that's the interesting part. He is the co-chair of the transition team, but we don't know if he is actually going to have a official White House role. But he's on the board of Newmark, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw $10 on these. Like, yeah, they're 10 cents a pop or 5 cents a pop, but spent like $20 on it total. I said I'll get one out till December there and see, because, again, if he's not on the board, I think his companies will benefit. And then if he is in there, I don't know if he's going to pull the full Nancy, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. But that was the other play. And then I finalized, or no, I did one more. I did 2 more. But then I grabbed the TLT. I said there was a bond auction, and after, again, TLT hit 4.5, it sucks because it was so much election volatility. But I told you, once we start hitting 4.5, I'm going to start making a concoction of bond plays from TLT to futures. But I started with these March 107s. I grabbed 5 of them for like 130 or 36 cents. It was like 170, I think, or 160 total. But this one went up a little bit today, has some time there. And 107, that was 107, that was where we were at. Yeah, you're on the other screen. 107, you were there, I believe, right around or right before SVB, or was it at the beginning of this year? Yeah, it was like right around SVB, even the end of both years. So more end of the years and beginning of the years are not. TLT was around there. Again, that's why it's very interesting with rates and how everything's going on there. So I think it's reasonable, but it's far out the money. These are going to move a little different, but I made another one today. We'll go over it, but that's what I'm saying. I'm going to start getting a couple of them as I like it. But remember, options are speculative on TLT. When it comes to 4.5 on the 10-year, if you want to just hold and take advantage and not get killed by duration or any unexpected, equity and shares is the way to go. Do not forget that. But that was the other play. And then I did, this one was so dumb. I did Qualcomm both ways. 2 standard deviations, bro. Qualcomm was up 15% after hours on their earnings and buyback, and then the stock went negative today. But I think Qualcomm might go up tomorrow, next week. So keep an eye out for it if there's a double dip opportunity. But otherwise, I'm going to lose like I think 100 or 200 because I doubled up and I forgot to double sell. So that one hurt. But that was because, again, all these other plays are small if you really put it into context. Again, $10, $20, $18. Again, I bought $18 on Fastly. This was earnings. Again, this is one of those names. Had a lot of upside in general, had the pin. So went there with 18 cents January 15. And then today, these were the two plays I made. After Powell kept saying, he literally said he's not pretty much kind of guided that and he said no guidance. This is all my interpretation. But the way he was talking about it, and he said, hey, he's not really too worried about timing and that things will be slow to react to policy. That was the vibe he was giving. Not worried about inflation. Still going to stick to the rate cut and just oblivious to everything else. So, I figured $93, that's where TLT was at literally the day before the election. So I think a gap fill on that, I don't think that would be unreasonable at all. So, oh, you don't see it? Oh, excuse me, but yeah, so I grabbed 10 of them at 29 cents. So I spent a little more. They went up 30% at one point. I think they closed up like 15, but and again, Trump won. I'm announcing all the plays on stream too. But if anything, I called it out too. You had opportunity. You could have made them free. I was going to, and then it literally it topped out after that. But still going to ride those out until next week, and then we'll see where it takes us. And then I grabbed one Unity. It was a January. It was a 30 call. Was it January, I think? No, November 15th. I grabbed the $30 call for 18 cents. So that was there related to earnings. Again, they literally were there 2 standard deviations. They were there like 2 earnings ago, so they underperformed. Remember, they had like pricing stuff and all that. And then I just figured $18 upside with a little bit of time. I'll take it. So that's all I did, but a lot of plays, still holding the bonds. They got bad on election day, made half of it back. But like I said, I'm starting to structure some of these plays, and I think we are going to get driven by a lot of data moving forward. So other than that, we have a lot in store in the long term, killing it, man. Oh, my goodness. I don't know if you guys, I said no look November, but I think it's stupid. I couldn't help but look at the long term. Remember, we did get I haven't used my deposit. So thankfully, again, these events and these big moves, man, we're fully invested already. So that is the blessing of all of it because, we don't really have to chase anything. We've got to benefit on everything from now, the start of Trump, to all of it. But I'm going to be building up a little bit of cash. I might go like Intel or any of the other dividend value, but I'm not really in any rush, and that's why we just get to ride it out, man. So it's awesome. If you have any questions, let me know. But I will just tell you this. I would like to take your questions in the chat, but how about we just do this in a Zoom call? How does that sound? Yep. So what we could do here is I am going to, where is it? I have a Zoom call ready to go, and you guys could join up. I do ask that you are respectful, non-offensive, don't get me banned. But thankfully, I am not going to let all of you in all at the same time. So how we're going to do this, I will post the Zoom, and I will post the password for it. However, connecting. However, you will be in the waiting room, and please set your name on the Zoom as your YouTube name, okay? Because that way, I hope this works. Oh, shit. All right, I hope that works. But that way, I will be able...
Recording in progress.
Read AI? Oh, nice. But yeah, that way, I will Chad fax you. You could just listen. Well, you could listen in through here, so you don't have to join the Zoom if you don't want to participate. That was intense, right? So, yeah, if you don't want to participate, you could just listen in. But that way, too, if you guys have any questions or anything, we could go there. So, why are you nervous? I don't know. So, Johnny Stallings, I know this guy. All right, who else we got? Harry. Who's Harry? Who's Harry 2020 Harry? So, you got to let me know who's who. That's it, man. You're gonna get chat faxed. Yeah, unfortunately. So Harry 2020. We got a new chat daughter. Is Trump's? You were asking if Trump was stuttering and his tongue was swollen. 5 watch lists to go. I don't know. Oh yeah, here. See, I could just put you guys on right now. Look at that. Yeah, this is gonna be a good time. Oh, I know Brian Fierro's. Oh, I know Juraj. I know Botsky. We had him there last time. I know. See, I know you guys. I know. See, that's the beauty. You see, reputation. Oh, I know Uncle Terry. You see, that goes a long way. So Harry, I'll let Harry slide. Harry, I hope you're a good guy. Let's see, but everybody else, I think we could start with. I know. Is it Hydeer 8i? I know Hydeer. Okay, this is beautiful. So you got to let me know who's who. Federico. I know Federico. But I don't see you on here yet. So let's do this. I'm going to let you guys in. We'll go in waves. Because like I said, I'm going to go cautiously because I know some of y'all going to get me clapped or something, man. So let me ask you guys this. Does anybody have a question to start? I know Matthew Orman. I know Flav. If you were there last time, I'm just going to let your ass in. But please mute unless anybody has anything. Oh, wait. Can you guys hear me now? I forgot to unmute it. Yeah, if you want to listen, just stay on the YouTube. But if you are trying to participate, let me know. I was there. I don't see you, Justin Cantu. Okay. You're not a bad. Where's Justin? I don't see. Why can't I see anything today, man? What's wrong with me? I don't see no Justin. Oh, I see Federico. Blah. You are Nick Norby. Oh, Crazy Bunny. All right. Well, you guys hear me, right? Can y'all hear me in the Zoom? Y'all need to say what's up, man.
Yeah.
We need a mic check.
Yes,
sir.
Mic check.
Nice. So you guys know too. You guys are all on an FBI watch list now. Okay, you guys just joined the cult. That's unfortunate.
Hello, agent.
What's up, baby? It happens, man. It happens. Colt, baby. So what's going on? How do you any of you guys have any questions about what happened today? And who got that loud ass mic, bro? It was Dr. James. He's a doctor. It's okay. He's a doctor, man. He's a doctor. I thought did I not pin the link? I've forgotten that. Andy. All right, let me see. I thought I pinned the link, but yeah, it's not.
I'm just really shocked about how everyone was trying to make a big deal about the Powell versus Trump right after the election.
Oh yeah, so I'm glad that you bring that up because it doesn't even come up, but that's like if you go look up Powell today, it is literally like the headline of every story. So they did ask, it's just dumb. Again, remember in the beginning, even when this rumor was floated that Trump was gonna fire Powell, we were talking about like it doesn't really happen. He doesn't really have the right to do it, and it's just unnecessary drama. I don't think he would want it or not, but I do think that Powell is gonna get replaced, man. I think after 2026 he's gonna be gone. But they asked him 3 times. His reaction was no. He was super what's the word? Pissed about it. I don't know. Like
he had a lot of grace under fire.
Yeah, and he was short with it.
Oh, very short with it. No, that's all he had to say, bro. It was kind of crazy, man. So
you could have clapped him really hard at that moment too, and gone on like some giant, soliloquy about it, but he didn't.
Well, yeah. Well, that's because it's not even like I wouldn't. It's so dumb to even legitimize that question, like to a degree. That's why even my reaction, where I'm like, this is, we need to get past the kind of the whole like gotcha stuff to a degree and playing this like drama, because at the end of the day, I mean, no one really, it wasn't like ever really a real possibility. It was a waste of time, but at the end of the day, I mean, it didn't change too much of the, I don't think it changed too much of the whole entire press conference or what he was saying. So it was not that bad.
I'm kind of gonna miss Powell, honestly.
I mean, he might stay. I don't know, but
It's gonna be
I think
sad.
I'd be sad too, but I would be excited to see who
Someone
he.
new.
Yeah, and then again, we had that list of all the people. Even Scott Bessent, and there's a few others. Oh, actually, too. Oh, I need to get you guys the article. I think it's Trump's chief of staff. He has appointed
Susie.
Yeah, he appointed the first
Yeah.
woman ever as chief of staff of the White House.
And they said he hated women, dude.
I know.
What?
So that was a good one. I don't know if that got any headlines for anybody out there. And again, if you guys are in the lobby, let me know. You have to say your name here in the chat. Otherwise, I got to give you a background check before letting you in. But it's good. Once I give you a background check, it's good, So I got to know. I got to see you in the chat, man.
And is there anyone on Trump's Federal Reserve chair list? Is there anyone on there that you personally like or you think could be good for us?
I have no idea who's on the list. That's the thing. I don't think we have been given a.
Okay, gotcha.
That's why, because it's far out. Realistically, just how even everyone's
like January.
Oh,
I don't think he knows.
No. It's January 2026. So
you're true.
A whole year.
Yeah, that's the whole point because
we got a while.
Yeah, Powell's term ends in 2026. So that's why I'm like it's 99% likely that he is just going to finish his term and then he'll probably be replaced. They might keep him, but I really do think it is I think it is time for him to go essentially. Your Chad facts is all on Twitch. Why'd you put it on Twitch, man? You got some here. No, you've been up here. See, that's the beauty. You're good. Zaidir, is it Z? You're Zaid. See, that's beautiful. See, that's it, man. You got a good credit score. Thank you, man, of course.
Is that 50 basis point cut the reason you say Powell has to go? Because I noticed like you immediately turned sour towards him when he capitulated like that.
No, man. Powell, it was well before that. Powell, literally, the guy fucking transitory, man. That was where
inflation.
Yeah, and all the and that's why I'm saying for the key that I had because it's like, dude, this guy, and that's why I'm like I really truly think the market is being so dramatic about what Trump is going to do in the future effect because Powell literally sat there while they pumped $6 trillion and he kept rates at zero when everything was going insane. So that's it. What's up, man? How you living, Zaid?
Yo, what's up, Josh? Thanks for having me, man.
What's going on, man?
Now,
great, man.
Do you think that the rally that we've had after the election, do you think all of this is 100% justified, or do you think the market is just like in La La Land?
No, I think it's somewhat justified because I mean, as long as until the data goes and turns around. I mean, I said it today. It's kind of tinfoily, but I'm not reacting on it. This is what somebody even asked me today, and I explained it, man. Like, I believe in a hard landing still. I even think there's a very decent amount of a mess that is being passed down. I think Trump they're just dumping a lot on him, but I say this in a way where I have a healthy skepticism, and I really encourage all of you to have healthy skepticism. And what I mean by that is that even if I have been bearish at multiple points, or even if I'm like, yo, this is a little weird, I am not selling and running and being, oh my gosh, we can't do this, there's no opportunity. I am just, again, I'm waiting for the data and the shift, just as we're watching, Powell do the same thing. But I think as long as you are not making rash, panicky financial decisions off of your skepticism, I think it's more than justified right now. And that's kind of how I feel towards all of that. And then I try to find you, Uncle Phil. I swear I saw you in there and I searched the name. I know Robert Lloyd. See, you get one, but I don't know, you disappeared.
Bit of a pivot. I was taking a look at the possible policies on energy in regards to nuclear. We've kind of been talking about that for a lot of the year. I'm just curious what you think his new policies are going to do to impact energy. You know, with the whole drill baby drill thing. You know, I'm up in ND, North Dakota. We want oil, obviously. I'm happy with that. But do you think it really has an enormous impact, or do you think with Google and Amazon investing so much money into it?
Yeah, I do. I think energy is going to be huge, dude. Because again, it factors into a lot of things, and again, energy will kind of determine inflation. Remember, I've always told you that is part of the lifeblood. But when it comes to the oil stuff, I mean, I think nuclear is one part, but oh man, I just blanked. There's a huge thing that a lot of people are overlooking with oil. It's the I just blanked. I had it on top. No. Ask the question again. It'll come back to me.
About the nuclear energy, how Trump's policies and the Republican policies are going to affect that with big companies like Google and Amazon. Still, I mean, they're pumping tons of money into.
Oh yeah, no, you remind me. Okay, no, yeah, I got it back now. You brought up the big corporations stuff, and I'm talking about oil here because the SPR. So I think energy companies are going to do good. The price of spot oil is going to be weird, but you guys got to realize, did Biden keep oil down? Yes, but it took a worldwide cooperation of dumping oil. I think Trump is going to refill that reserve down the line in the next 4 years. You see what I'm saying? So that's why the drill baby drill, it will increase supply, and that should bring price down, right? But I think he's going to try to make up ground for the lost reserves. You see what I'm saying? So that's where I think it could probably get a net positive. And then energy, or nuclear, I think he's just going to be more favorable towards it. I think Trump, again, I think he's going to, remember, a lot of people didn't want nuclear. I don't know if you guys remember that. People, even a couple years ago, they're like, no. And that was more of the prevailing logic, but people resisted, but it's very efficient. So especially with the need for AI, I think they're definitely going to, I definitely think Trump will be more favorable, if anything, at least the same, because it did seem like the Democratic side would have been favorable as well to nuclear too.
Right. It's kind of what I was thinking, but I just wanted to hear your take.
Of course, I mean, of course.
How come you don't like energy stocks in your portfolio for the long term?
Because somebody said it very, very well in the Twitch chat when I explained it last time, because you do not get rich off of energy, but you stay rich off of energy. Because when you trade commodity names, you have to, it's big. You have to put a lot of money down. That's the only way it's going to be worthwhile. So, like, when I made my long-term and I made my first come-up, I didn't, I bought Meta at IPO. I bought Amazon at $200-300 pre all of the splits. Like, you go get thousands of percent. You even seen it with even Meta, the ones we bought in the long-term. That's how you are able to get good growth and good money off that. But, energy doesn't really offer that. So I've never really been drawn towards it. And I've liked dividends. It's good as a dividend player, but I think if you have a lot more capital and you want more kind of stability to a degree, then yeah. But for me, I mean, I like to get my stability through like healthcare or biotechs in a weird way. And then I'd rather get stuff with more growth. That's why I've never really been, I've never been drawn to it from my start till even now. I'll trade it though.
That makes a lot of sense, because I had an old lawyer that I used to intern with. He put a lot of his money into energy, but he was old, and you saying that puts two and two together. It's stability and it's good money when you want to put a lot of money safely.
Yeah, it even translates to the futures too, because like oil futures are gigantic. That's why you can make or lose a lot of money. Oil will go 1, 2, 3, 4% in a day, but a future is like 10,000 barrels or something like that, or 40,000 barrels. It's just you have to trade it in big amounts, big supply to make money. Same goes for gold too. Think about it. You buy one gold coin, yeah, you made $1,000 on the best rally in history. You see what I'm saying? But if you bought $20 million of gold, you're loving it because it's stable and you are able to get those moves, and then a couple percentage points of stability. It's a lot better. It's kind of like real estate to a degree, but definitely has its differences. Wait, you can't. Because I'm on. Oh man, wait, talk, you guys.
Hello.
Do you hear him now?
Yeah.
Check.
Yo.
Check.
Yo.
Oh, my bad. I think it's because I was on the. I think I was on. Yeah, my bad. I was on the other one. Oh, I see. Dago, you're in here. All right, my bad. Who else? If anybody wants to join, let me know if you're in the waiting room. I need to see you in here. I'm glancing over back and forth. I'm answering questions, trying. That's it. We got to go slowly, Got to go slowly, little by little, man. Little by little.
Hey, Josh.
What's up, man?
What's the significance of the bonds hitting 4-5?
Bro, I thought you were about to say the significance of the passage of time, bro. I was about to. you know how scarred I am. That's crazy, man. But the significance of 4-5, I mean, it leads into 5. That's a Kamala answer, but it really 5's a big deal. Even Powell brought it up that people were freaking out about 5% at one point, and then 3 weeks later it pulled back. But I think 4-5 is a level where it's high, restrictive, and even if inflation does come back, it would have to be major for duration risk to get really bad from 4-5. I just think 4-5 bonds become a favorable insurance value. That has been my theory I've been saying for a decent amount of time now. I hope that makes sense because like I'm saying, at 4-5, can the bonds go to 5, maybe 5.75? Yeah. And that would be another like 30% down, which it depends on how you're trading it, or if you're on like basis, it's not that much. But the fact of the matter is, you can lose a little bit with duration or if inflation and all these things happen. But when it's all said and done, if anything bad occurred or Powell does cut rates and he does stick to the SEP and that gets even more aggressive, there's only upside. So I see it as insurance at 4.5 and above. I may now, because again, we'll see. We do have to monitor the Trump trade and be cautious. We can't be too narrow-minded with it, What if the inflation really, again, I'm already suspicious of a lot of things, but what if the policies do bring that inflation? Then if inflation returns like the late 70s, then bonds, we might have to worry about this idea. But that's why I'm saying for now, I think it's going to happen slow until I think that might take a year or two. That's why I think a year and a half, 2 years of Trump, maybe that's when we watch inflation go crazy. You got to think about it. I think the inflation is still on the old trend before all the other stuff hits. It's going to take a while, just like it took us 2 years just to see it even come down. So I just view 4-5 and above as a good value and good insurance with not as much duration risk as some of the other times when TLT and the bonds were around this level.
Hey Josh, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, man? It's Andy.
What up, baby?
Man, I really appreciate all the hard work. I just want to say that first. And what do you think Trump is interested? I mean, Powell was kind of fending off all the questions about Trump today, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think Trump would want Powell to do until he's actually physically in the office?
I think, honestly, he said he didn't like the cuts. I don't know if you remember Trump, right when Powell did the 50, he said, that's too much. That's way too much. He shouldn't have done 50. And obviously, I agree with that, and I think a lot of people do. But then again, I do feel like Trump might be like, well, we could use it. I like rate cuts. We'll see. I think it really kind of depends, but I think that depends truly on how genuinely worried we are about inflation. I think the media, even some big investors, I think they are being so insanely overdramatic about the tariff and inflation. And again, like I said, I think a lot of people are misinterpreting it. It's not inflation through the deficit yet. He has to fuck it up first. It's inflation through a heated economy and activity. So I think if they're truly not worried about it, I think he'll be favorable of rate cuts. Trump would actually want them. Otherwise, if there is a real risk of inflation and they see it, whether nobody wants to negotiate, what if Trump can't get the war deals? You know what I'm saying? Then yeah, but you got to think about it. If he knocks down geopolitical risks, if you could accomplish, one thing at a time that we've been dealing with, I mean, it could support the general gradual path that Powell's going on now, unless we get, again, wicked job loss or something out of nowhere.
What about this Biden spending, maybe ramping up a little bit just before he leaves the office? Is that going to play a little role with that in terms of if he sends more money to Ukraine and all those things?
I think it'll clap it'll just add a little bit of pressure on the bonds towards the end of the year, but I don't there's only so much he could do. Like, you know what I'm saying, spending wise, but I think the damage has already been done. So anything now would be a little bit of a tip, but other than that, it shouldn't be there. But if it is, I'll keep an eye out and let you know.
Thanks, man. I appreciate the answers.
Could I ask you something, Josh?
Yeah.
First of all, good morning from Germany.
Hey, what's up, baby? Jamming.
It's freaking early here. But when you were talking about like the tariffs, like how strict do you see Trump's position, for example, against like Europe? Because the politicians here are like literally freaking out. Like the Chancellor of Germany, he literally fired our finance minister, and they are like in the talk shows and everything. They are like literally freaking out.
Yeah, they did a no confidence vote, dude. They're going just like France after the finance
they
minister
haven't
thing.
voted yet. It will. It's a weird situation because
it is. It's because, and that's why like you guys got your own problem right now, like just economy wise. I think you could
we are
use
fucked big time.
Yeah, you could use Trump as the excuse, but and this I think there'll be temporary pain for Germany and the UK just off of Trump alone. You know what I'm saying? Just ignoring your guys' other problems, but I think it will be favorable because again, if Trump, I talked about this today in a weird, and it's a crazy theory, but with how much people have moved already on the damn threat of this guy talking, it's insane. It reminds me of Powell tightening and loosening conditions just by talking. And why do I say that? Because the guy is not even in office yet, and the dollar is tightening conditions because look at the euro, look at the pound, look at all these things. So you got to think about it. At one point, if he's ever just like, you know what, we have a deal, no more tariffs, that would change a lot.
One question comes to my mind is like the current politicians from, for example, Germany, they were like pretty mad about him and talked mad shit about him. And how will they approach him, or how will he act if people have talked shit about him, like on like country level, like other leaders?
It's not that personal. And this is the beauty. I don't know. You guys can find it. I have a playlist on this channel of economic lessons. Remember when we were reading the book? Did you ever get to watch one of those?
Yeah, sure.
So this is straight up a lesson out of the book of bargaining power. That's it. So even if they talk shit or not, it's not that personal. The fact of the matter is, that's why I'm like, Germany, they have their own problems. I think Trump is going to definitely negotiate. They may have a little bit of pain initially, and then it'll do good. But all it is that Trump just has the bargaining power right now. That's all.
Yeah.
Then when it's all said and done through both words, action, even the support now, because not only is it Trump, it's Trump with a red Congress. So now these other places know he's not going to get the same type of gridlock. So just the scales are tipped in his favor. They're just more likely going to make a deal. That's why I'm saying I know a lot of people are scared of it, but all roads just point to a deal.
I'm actually not scared of it. It's like I'm kind of surprised. Like the politician leaders, we don't want them as like nation anymore, but we don't have any like chance to get rid of them faster. And like it's weird because a lot of people I know, they are like happy that Trump got in power, but on politician level, like we don't know where the country steers right now.
Yeah, dude, Germany's been weird for a while. I don't know if remember when we played the EWGs, like you guys got exposed through the inflation, the war shit, all of that, you know what I'm saying? So all of those things had an effect, but like I said, I think it'll be temporary pain. Everyone's going to figure it out, but I think by year 2 to maybe year 3 to 4 of Trump, I think you guys are going to be riding the back wave of everything. Assuming, there's no hard landing, or we get a hard landing and then everybody recovers. Yeah.
Thanks,
Floor
man.
open?
Say what?
Is the floor open?
Yes, sir.
All right, I have a confession to make, and I'm ready for the waterboarding after I confess. So I did have XOM at around $50, and since then it has gone up significantly. And I may or may not have sold around 90 out of 100 shares, leaving me with a bigger sum of money than I had to begin with. And I know, five years is not 10 years, and I should still be holding on to it since it was long term. But now that since I have this money, Josh, I'm thinking, do I wait a little 3 to 6 months period like we're talking about and, put the 2K here, 2K there in a couple companies? Or an idea I got was go TLT shares since we're getting rate cuts now and it might not be like
you just expose yourself, bro. You didn't.
I know.
You just want to buy TLT.
I just want to buy TLT.
That's all you want to do, bro.
No shit. I mean, I guess there's shame.
You said no shit.
Here
Josh.
I am.
No fucking shit, Josh.
No shame.
Yeah. So, I mean, I will give you credit. You held for 5 years. That's great. That's a start. That's honestly, I'll give you props for that. I'm glad you let it mature, but this is why you already know everything. It sounds like you definitely listened, but you didn't listen. But this is you're getting motivated. Like I've always said, man, you guys, I give you a template and pursue it. Take some risk. Go ahead. I'm not against that. But next time or now you see in advance, you don't move until you're ready to strike. So for next time in general, you don't sell that. Even if you're like, okay, I'm going to do it after 5 years. Okay, this is all just a secret plan to buy TLT. Whatever the reason is, though, until you are ready to move into the other territory, you do not give up your territory. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So that is the mistake that you made within there. But, I mean, go put a little bit into TLT, but just don't go overboard. And then you space the rest of it, the other 2,000, into other things, hopefully. But and again, I mean, I never liked the energy to begin with. Go lock in a healthcare with a dividend, and maybe that could be something you hold for another 5 to 10, depending on whether or not you want TLT.
Dude, I top ticked NVO. I'm like really sad about it, but I'm just not gonna sell it. I'm down on it now. I top ticked
as long as you buy
like 130.
Bro, as long as you buy more. But I already said that's the one I wanted. I wanted a top ticket. I've always wanted a top ticket, and I love the Ozempic trend. I'm not even like, I don't even use it. I'm a big.
My dad does.
Yeah, bro, it's powerful though. A lot of people use it, so I think it's going through the first mega wave, and it'll relax for a little bit, but then I think it still has a very, very bright future. So that if I ever sold like cover calls on Airbnb, NVO or like McDonald's would be one of the ones. So as long as you buy more, I think you'll be good to go.
Gotcha. I appreciate it, homie.
Of course, man.
How do you feel about infrastructure EFTs or ETFs? I don't know if you invest in those. I'm looking at them like there's let me see. I have PAVE as one of them. I'm fairly new. I've had my long term for only 4 years, and I'm looking to add them to my list. I just want your opinion on them.
So I think, I mean, with how things are looking, it'll be good, but I don't know. I would go and look at the ETF itself, like go find out what they're holding, and then go a la carte. Because again, this is the most expensive it's ever been. So I don't like my rule for the long term pretty much since like 2023. If it's up on the year, there's so much spread between names. That's going to instantly rule it out. But I like the idea. I like where your head is at with it. Somebody brought it up today on stream, like industrial REITs. And like I like the REITs, not the ETF. I don't know if you want to go hunting, that could be something. But again, for the long term, focus on the stuff that you are like really familiar with too, because that will also take you a longer way. Because again, some of these, go through the list, see if there's a name that resonates more in that ETF, and you could just pick one or two of them, or maybe look into the industrial REITs. But I don't have any of these in my portfolio. I would consider it if it was at a lower price, but at this price, I think there is better deals out there in the market right now.
Yeah, I think there's only like 2 of them that are like less than 10% so far year to date.
Yeah, I'm saying like other opportunities in terms of like I would just go buy like even Humana until it went up or anything else in that sense, because what we did with the long term, and I think a lot of you have noticed it. I mean, because some of the plays we even made this year, by avoiding just any sort of like premium, like and yeah, you miss out on momentum and hype. Just like you buy the top on a lot of things and that thing keeps going, just like some did this year, man, they did very, very good. But by out of an abundance of caution and going for the names that are lower, I have found a lot more safety and cushion. And I think a lot of people have noticed it. So that's where I'm at with it. But not opposed to it. If you have other things in your portfolio that balance it out, I mean, you could throw anything in there and work it in, as long as you, again, you don't go too crazy. You know what I'm saying? Don't overweight the portfolio if it's at all-time highs, Don't throw all of your money in at once. So even if it's not fully on criteria, the way you're going to make it work is by actually sticking to a plan, having the time, like literally you're going to probably average down on it at another point and ride it through. And then, as long as you don't overweight it, you'll be fine.
Hey, Josh. I have a trade idea, but I'm not 100% sure on when to pursue it.
You'll never be 100%, baby. You gotta work with like 90 sometimes, 70.
It's the war trade. It's the buying the LMT RTX puts. Because according to Trump, he's gonna end it all. But it's hard to determine when to get them. How much I should pay and what the time should be on them.
Well, let me give you something better. Determine how much war premium is in the stock.
That's true.
Because it's already moved down. So because again, they're still gonna make money. They're still gonna fund the government and a lot of things. Accomplishing the war ending, that would be, I'm sure it would hurt them. It would be a good thing, but at the end of the day, it already dropped a lot now. Because remember, even at one point after like Ukraine, remember, it like popped and then it just came back down and it stayed at a certain level and then it started moving. So I would try to get an idea of how much war premium is really still remaining, and then that way you could just see if there's actually meat on the bone from it, and then just go according to the signals. Like if you get any updates, so far world leaders reached out. I mean, I think there was a Hamas leader who said something. I mean, things are looking favorable already. Again, Putin already made a comment. Ukraine, Zelensky made a comment, but he did say that he does not see giving up any land as part of a deal. So really, if Trump could get Putin to just say, all right, fine, no land, and I'll end it, that would be amazing. But it's already going in that direction. But the crazy part is, are you guys ready? I'm still the president. He's not even the. What do you mean? He's not even in office. I'm the president. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just LMT. The run up was so ridiculous. I think it was and RTX. I mean,
but the timing of it
crazy.
It was weird though. God. It would go in increments. Some of it was based off of externals. Some of it was the war, and then it just built up very weirdly, kind of like gold. To be honest, that's what it reminded me of.
Because LMT ran up like $100 in like 3-4 months. It was nuts.
I remember on one of your watch lists that you talked about there being a potential grab in like the international market with Donald Trump coming into presidency. Is there like specifics, maybe specific stocks you're looking at? I have a bunch of like dividends ones because I'm trying to build my dividends portfolio.
Fuck yeah.
I'm looking at like DEM, IDV, VIG. These are just some of them, and I've had them since I started it, but now with I forgot how it went during that watch list, but there's a correlation with them easing up more and then that market's picking up. So is there like any specifics that you're looking at that I might do some research and put in?
Literally what we were even saying with Germany. So like Germany, UK, I think those are going to be they're going to have initial downside, but after they have that downside, I think they're going to be a great pickup. I think they're going to have temporary pain, but then they'll go up because think about it, the dollar shoots up. What just happened to the pound and euro? It just got weaker. by like 2% overnight. So now they just got, as they're struggling now, and even though they're cutting rates, compared to everywhere in the world now, the currency's a little bit more cheaper now. It's going to make them a little bit more competitive. So it's going to take time to feed through. They're going to have to deal with it, their policy. The UK is a little weird with the policy, and again, Germany has their own mess. But those are the two areas. And then, like I said on today, China is a real wild card, man. I really expect that Trump would be harsher, and we have seen a lot with that. But at the same time, they're turning on the stimulus. Even the data last night, they're ready to kind of start say, look, the data's big now. You know, the green shoots. That's kind of what they've done in the past. And then if they could handle 20% tariffs, then that means Trump could get what he wants. It'll sound aggressive, and then they could still do good. So China, we got to give it a little time. Like I'm saying, I think Europe is going to play out kind of simply, but then we wait to see what happens with China. But I do like opportunity with China. And if you are looking to add international to your portfolio, here's the deal. Just, I don't know, unless you want more international exposure, just make sure, I don't know if I would go more than like 10 or 15% of your portfolio international, unless I don't know what you're trying to accomplish. And why I say that, just look what we've gone, we have almost primarily, we almost have primarily the, what's it called? What was I just saying? I got thrown off. The Zoom, the noises, they got me. Well, I forgot what I was just saying, the last part. But yeah, more than 10%. As long as you don't go more 10, 15% of your portfolio, you'll be fine in terms of not over allocating.
Yeah, I see it as an opportunity because it's like the UPSs and Humana, they're all trading way behind. They're lagging. So I feel like
that gives you some international exposure. Not Humana, but UPS, that would to a degree. But I still like UPS a lot. I haven't bought it, but that one is on my list.
Yeah, I think these are like options like FXY. It's really cheap compared to where it trades.
Well, I like Japan equities too. I think they're after they get through the mess, we'll see what happens with the carry trade. I mean, there's a reason Buffett's buying it. They're going to be very good, but I haven't bought anything for Japan in the long term though. I do think China. I've always liked China, and why we like majority of the American stocks is simply that. All right, man. Yo, can you mute that, boy? Come on, please. It's been getting me. But we got to get the American excellence. That's what everybody's been talking about. You got to think about, we've outperformed everybody. That's why you want to have a majority of American stocks. So that's the first part. But I think China is the opportunity because it's 30 cents on the dollar. That's it. It's literally Japan is at its first bull rally in like 30 years, 40 years since it broke an all-time high, and that was recently. But China is in the gutter. The same earnings, the same value you could get on China, you could get for 30 cents on the dollar. And the same one in America you could get in China. But then again, they're struggling, so I don't know if they'll ever return to that.
Are you open to self-storage units? If I remember I had
man.
I transferred to a new brokerage in Connecticut, and this one lady next to me, Alice, she told me she had something coming up. So I thought of you. I was like, maybe he wants to jump on it.
Yeah, bro, email me. Yeah, for sure. tradingfraternity@gmail.com.
Okay.
And we got Uncle Phil. I see your hand up. Very, very polite. What's up, man? What up, Uncle Phil?
Can you hear me, sir? Is my mic good?
Yes, sir. How you living?
Man, I'm living okay, man. An opportunity to speak to you in the presence of the call. The first thing I wanted to say, man, is because we've gone back and forth. I've been banned, as Uncle Phil, like before, probably saying some crazy shit in the chat. Never anything like violent, just definitely not the vibe that is conducive in the chat. So I definitely had to go back and correct myself. And I just wanted to say, man, that the daily philos, the effort that you put forth, I know that it's real motherfuckers that appreciate that shit, bro. I know it is because I prayed. Like in 2020, 2019, I prayed. I said, you know what, God, I need a mentor. I need somebody that has more knowledge than I have. I need to not be the most knowledgeable person at this because I'm not, and I need that. And then boom, and I swear, man, I have never. You have stated that desire 100%. There might be weeks that I don't like type anything. There might be weeks that I might not even like look at the cult. But anytime that I want to plug myself back in, just forceful knowledge, this is the only place I go to get just at the high concentration. Like even what you just said about like it was one of the first things that you said when the Zoom started. You were talking about how everybody's going off on Donald Trump and these tariffs. And you said that the market has basically priced in about 20% of that, and that other 40% is bargaining. That's the type of shit right there where it's like, I don't know what fucking room any of us would have to be in to get knowledge so concisely and so accurately delivered unto us. You are from God, boy.
Man, God put it all together, baby. And honestly, bro, I appreciate all of that, and I think the first thing too, even the Chad, he's been banned, bro. I appreciate the fact that you could even get banned and come back and even be able to say how you started that, the way that you could even grow, bro, and being able to acknowledge. I appreciate you. I hope you really know that, man. And honestly, bro, this is why I kind of like these calls, and this is why, like I was even saying some of the private stuff, because I'm like, just listen, man. At the end of the day, if you want to learn and grow and you want to get this stuff, man, people are willing to go out there. I mean, it's hard nowadays and there's different things, but at the end of the day, if you guys are willing to put in the work, man, I will be right here. And all you have to do though, you got to save, you got to be consistent. You got to really stick to it. But if you will, man, I mean, I think the world is yours. And I said it the other day, man, I truly believe my purpose is to set somebody up. It's funny because you're like, I prayed for someone. I don't think you guys, like, again, I don't show my face. I don't think I'm going to be a movie star. I don't think my purpose, I don't think I'm going to go on CNBC and talk to them. And I don't think that's it. I think I am here to set somebody up who is going to take it to the next level. So buy me a house. Okay. That's all I said. Just eventually don't forget about me. And otherwise, it's like, have you seen the movie Holes? Exactly. That's it. If you don't carry me up after the mountain after you do it, bro, that's it. Hector Zeroni. Heck, you going, So what's up, Jerry Wood, y'all? I saw you, bro. What's up, baby? I didn't know if you were unmuting. I didn't know if you were going to, if you were trying to say anything.
No, I was just sitting here listening, man.
What's good, baby? How you living?
I'm living okay.
I mean, okay. Don't worry. Everything gonna get better. Long term. The long term will make the way, baby. The best is yet to come.
Yeah, the long term, the long way.
Amen, man. Amen.
Yo, I want to piggyback on David Pina talking about international opportunities. Talking about Zen.
Oh, wait, real quick though.
Guys, go ahead.
You guys could talk between each other too. You got, again, a lot of manners too, but feel free if you guys ever want to weigh in.
We patient. We can
have some talks too. I don't know. You guys could engage too. Don't be too shy.
You just want the chat to fight while you're refereeing us. That's what you want. No, because Zyn was a big thing this year, right? We were on the Zyn train. It was going huge, the smokeless tobacco products. But Europe is all still tobacco, right? Like, I knew about, I was confused when Zyn first came out. I thought it was snus. Because in Sweden, they have snus products, which are just little tobacco pouches, right? And that was the thing. And then, I tried a Zyn, and I was like, holy, like, this is insane. This is so intense. It was a little too aggressive for me. But Zyn's not a big thing in Europe. Now, I've been looking at more like a tobacco ETF, sort of like BTI, because I missed the Zyn train, didn't want to buy it at the top. But looking at those sorts of companies, which are mainly purely tobacco, do we think that the Zyn trend is going to catch up to Europe and sort of overwhelm that market? Because Asia and Europe for the tobacco market, I mean, if people haven't been to Europe or China, like, people smoke like chimneys over there still.
Yeah, that's what when we were going over MO after the earnings, and it blew my mind because I started looking at the smokeless tobacco like segments in the biggest companies around the world, and literally China, bro. China sells like 10 times as much as any Altria or anything in just smokeless. It's insanity. And Europe is big too, so I think the Zyn trend is just domestic. I mean, I think, people will take advantage of it, but it's really, don't underestimate crazy Americans on a trend, because that's what it is. It's just we're smaller, but they're charging more, but then it's one of those local trends that has just gotten really, really insane. But I do think China and Europe, I mean, there's a lot of competition. That's where I'm saying it's like I think it's going to be more defined by like local markets, U.S. companies for U.S., Europe for Europe, even China. I think they even encroach a little into Europe.
So you think it's worthwhile to even look into those, to add to your portfolio?
Only if it's cheap. That's the thing. I think we bought MO at the beginning of the year, but like I said it today, just like if you ever see the number 3 on MO, like and it starts with 3, you just buy MO and call it a day. But it's a lot of them have gone up. That's my only problem. And like I said this last time, MO was at $55. Like they were all a lot higher. Like BTI, they could do good and they were a lot higher. But that thing is still up like what, maybe 20% in the last couple of months. So and with these slow movers, if it pays, they pay an 8.3% dividend.
Yeah, that's why I was looking at it.
Yeah, but I guess it's 12, 13%, and then 16%, 17% in 6 months. But these slow movers, if you just get them too high, and they're very cyclical. Like MO, it is either ripping or it is either dying. Ask anybody who's held it in their long term. It is either doing really good for you or it is underperforming. So I think if you want it, you got to be patient and get it when it's coming on the low. But the idea is great. I mean, the trend's solid, and it's both Zyn and it's just the idea of smokeless. That is, people still smoke a lot, but the concept of smokeless
Can
is
I
there.
say something?
Yeah.
Because
the German.
I actually live in Europe, so I can tell you something about the market. So smokeless is a big thing here because most people don't like the smell after you smoke. And we don't have a lot of products that are like, for example, in France, Italy, Germany especially, these countries, we don't have a lot of like American products. And the biggest brand behind most of the cigarettes that are also like smokeless now is Philip Morris. And so I would rather look into Philip Morris because the statistics for Germany, for example, it's funny. I looked it up like a couple weeks ago. The harder the economy gets, the more the people smoke. It's crazy. Like the less people have in money, the more they smoke.
And I'm pretty sure Philip Morris. I think it's international. That's the thing. I think we think it's American, but I'm pretty sure it's mostly based there in Europe. And Philip Morris, that's the thing I don't like about it though. It's the outperformer. Remember, Philip Morris, they are the owner of Zyn. So they're the one who benefits off of it one-to-one, like directly. They own the brand Zyn. That's the thing that went. There's a lot of these little nicotine pouches and smokeless stuff, but they are all, Philip Morris is the one that's getting a primary amount of the demand.
I mean, I can only say it like IQOS, the brand, for example, is the main smokeless brand you can buy in Europe.
You said IQOS?
IQOS.
Is that the one where you put the damn cigarette in it?
Yeah, but it's not like burning. It's like
dude,
just
those trip me out. I've seen those.
I've seen them in Japan and a lot of Asian countries. They have them. A lot of girls were using them, but the guys were too. Like they pop out of work real quick. They'd be in a suit and then just use it real quick. But
they are like literally like smoking cigarettes. I got a device myself and smoked it, so I know for sure it's like basically the same, just without smelling bad.
Is
afterwards.
Is it smoother or no? It's the exact same. Yeah,
that's so weird.
It's interesting to say the least. I'll tell you that much,
dude. I think it's the weirdest shit ever. You literally, you buy a cigarette, and it's like a machine, and then you take a cigarette and you stick it in the machine like a vape, and then you smoke the vape with that has the cigarette inserted, and it just like it's like a I don't know, you know the weed volcano.
I posted images for people if they want to look at Google Images.
It's like you just vaporize the tobacco. And then
like a backdoor cigarette.
Oh, that is weird.
It's
That's
really
smart
weird.
though, because they don't have to get rid of the cigarettes. Then they're basically.
And another thing about it though is the tar. You know what I'm saying? You're probably not getting all of it, but it's helping out a little bit. You know, I think it's a little more healthier. I don't know how healthy a cigarette is, but
it trips me out.
The statistics show that it's much less tar. That's why people are attracted so much to it. But the funny thing is that the tobacco is actually a different sort of tobacco. And in Europe, for example, they get a less rate of taxation on it, which makes them more revenue.
I did not know that.
Can you use it for cannabis?
This guy's smoking a blunt on his porch. He's like, "Can you get high?"
I knew someone was going to ask that.
I think you could probably use a better device, but it's so. But that is part of the trend. So that's the weird part about like this whole thing when you tie it into the stock, because we're talking Zyn, but these little devices, those are considered smokeless. So that's part of the trend.
Right.
That's the weird part about the numbers. When you go, like Zyn is itemized or segmented, but most of these tobacco companies and all of them, they're bundling all of these new smokeless technologies. There's the combustible cigarette, and then everything else is pretty much smokeless.
Yo, Josh.
What's up?
Keep up the good work.
Hey, thank you, man. You keep up the good work. Where's that law term, baby?
Oh, we got it. We got it.
Oh, we got it, baby. Good. Amen. Amen. Long term for life, bro. Long term for life.
Speaking on TLT, or just going back to that, earlier in the stream, you said you were thinking about just playing some options and futures. Do you think you're going to outright buy stock at all, or is that not in your future?
No, because if I was going to buy stock, I'm going to buy the futures or the, even though the futures do have a time limit, but I would just buy extended time ones like I did with the oil ones. So I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I think shares is the safest way to play it. Shares by far, because again, there's an expense ratio, but you get a dividend, and then like I'm saying, it could go down. But I do think the downside is much more limited until inflation is roaring back up. So that I hope you guys get it. The TLT trade, until inflation. I'm not saying inflation won't go back up, but until that starts ramping up, then I think the bond should be a lot more bullish. It's again, go back to this is the thing I was saying prior to the election. Remember, I was like, you guys don't think it's weird that the regional banks, look how close they tracked bonds for the last like 5 years. Regional banks and bonds ever since even young Biden, they've pretty much gone hand in hand. But then ever since people started freaking out about Trump, they started putting on the regional banks, but then they started selling off the bonds. So this is like a reverse inverse where this is either going to close the gap, I think, eventually. I think at one point you are going to start tracking, and we're going to close this gap a little bit more between bonds and the regionals. But if inflation does roar back, then that's going to change everything. If it doesn't, then I think shares, you're going to have a lot limited downside, and then no matter how long it takes, you're not going to worry about it as much.
We pivot really quick. I don't want to take away from the chat because I love the discourse on stocks, but I've been LARPing at you about Web3 stuff, and I just have like one thing to ask you, sir. Just one thing. Because I in the last 6 months, the education that I've gotten on like in Web3, I've gone from like, I don't know really that much about this to I kind of consider myself to be a little bit of an expert. And so when I like use that brain to just like kind of run back some things, I remember that Bored Ape that you bought, the Gen Psaki 8, right?
Uh-huh.
You held that in Coinbase stuff. You held that in your Coinbase wallet, did you not?
No, not initially. I used a different wallet when I bought it.
My question is because you talked about the 8, you flipped it for an insane profit, but I never remember hearing you talk about getting the 8-point drop. And I remember.
Oh, I did. I sold out of it. I got like.
Oh, word. then I don't have any fucking problems, my guy. Because
yeah, dude, that was my free share method.
That my point that shit, and I was like, what?
Yeah, bro,
what?
that's I actually posted a video on TikTok, and I got a strike on TikTok because I made a video when I got the ape drop from the coin. I got the ape coin, dude. I sold out at like $20 or so. I made a lot off of it. That's why I was like, it paid for the NFT. All the profit, if I sold the NFT, the amount of money I would have got, I just sold the ape coin, and then.
Oh, you're a G there, mother. Of course you did. Of course, thank you. Inshallah. Because that shit was like middle of the night and be like, does he know?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, the chat put me on again. I remember the chat was like, "Yo, airdrop. You guys showed me how to get it, and then I claimed it, and then I sold. It was in a couple of days. I just said, fuck that. Give me my free shares, and then I still have the NFT though. I still own the Gensaki, but it paid for itself multiple times. I got all the other airdrops. I have all the little cards, and I have the other deed land. So I don't know. I think if the next crypto wave, I said this today, if with this Trump shit, once Bitcoin hits 100K and starts going nuts, we're gonna get back into altcoin season. But that'll be the time to unload the shitty altcoins and then move it into quality. So I think the crazier it goes, we'll see what happens.
You pivot back into that space, please. Just like and put an asterisk on this because I ran it up in a couple wallets, and in my trading wallet in particular that I nuked a couple weeks ago. But the thing that's interesting about that is the volume that I have on Jupiter Exchange, and in the same way
on what on Jupiter what?
Jupiter Exchange. It's like wherever you swapped the token for E. coli, that was a base protocol. Jupiter is mostly for Solana, and in the last 6 months, from literally one sol, I ran up over $500,000 worth of volume. So if I were to use last year's Jupuary as any sort of an indicator for what may happen if they do the same thing again this Jupuary, a wallet right now that has only $15 in it will be blessed with $10,000 to $20,000 of juice. Why? Why is that? Think about your total volume in stock.
Wait, but did you say January or Jupuary?
I think Jupe. I think is like bunny hop. You use bunny hop to get E. coli, right?
No, I use Jupe specifically and religiously. Jupe is where I go to swap. Jupe is where I go to make all my trades. I do my perp trades there. You can trade on up to 100x leverage. You can do VC. And by the way, Josh, coming into Solana, because I know real shit from people like you, I got into Solana in month 1, and I was talking so much shit at Phantom Wallet, at Jupiter, at Dex Screener, because I'm like, what the fuck? I can't limit order swap. I can't DCA. I can't limit sell. A month of me talking that shit, all those features are now in the ecosystem, by the way. All those features. But anyways, so they do airdrop rewards based on your spot volume, based on your staking allocation. And that to me is going to be something that I'm going to be able to talk to real motherfuckers like y'all and be like, okay, guys, I know that everyone looks at Solana. It's fucking sus, Sam Bankman, all this shit. But when I show you a wallet that went a Big Mac to, rolling on my wrist type shit, I'm going to look at y'all and be like, so y'all don't want to just take 50 G's and swap that into USDC and then, into Bitcoin and then back into USDC. And that's $100,000 of volume right there. Y'all aren't interested in this? I'm really going to be asking y'all some very fucking weird questions come January if your man gets laced with literally 1/3 of a fucking Bitcoin just because I ran it up volume-wise on an exchange that's doing what?
It's just all of it is the thing is, and even I've learned it with when I did the E. coli stuff, the crypto world is savage and it is very complex. So that's why when it's why doesn't everybody just do $15? Why aren't you putting $50,000? It's mad complex, and it is, and you make not only one wrong thing, even what I've seen, bro. Somebody knows when it comes to swapping liquidity pools, if somebody knows more than you are very, very vulnerable.
It's gambling if you don't know what you're doing, man.
I mean, even if
Bitcoin stuff is real gambling. You put $10, you might make 1,000, but you're probably gonna lose your $10.
No, but here's the thing. Just like in stocks, there are majors, my brothers. There are majors. There are things that do not see.
I think the only thing, I mean, do this, buy me $15, do it for me, and then let me let me get it when it hits. But buy me the house, man. But at the end of the day, like, this is what I even talked about today. I just think I am a Bitcoin maximalist. I understand. I mean, again, I bought Ethereum at $8. I remember every altcoin, every other spin-off. Like, it is a money-making opportunity, but it is purely speculative. The only thing I could accept for the long term is just, I think, at whatever amount of Bitcoin, because again, in 10, 20, 30 years, I think Bitcoin is a true commodity with adoption and limited supply. That's it. I even like it more than Ethereum now, but all this other stuff, it is very complex. I wish you luck with it, and it's good, but I think only Bitcoin for the long run unless other people are interested and are going to go the developer route and really educate themselves on this, because you have to start really learning crypto. And again, and you could, I know how to code contracts now. It's really, but you do have to get past the initial learnings curve. But as far as long-term solid quality investment, I think Bitcoin only. I know I'm a boomer. I'm not fun. I'm not anything with it, but I do know it's gonna. It gives me that level of safety and confidence as a long-term asset. I've held Bitcoin for almost 10 years. Yeah, 10 years now. And I think I'll do it again. And that's something in the world that's so savage of crypto and complex. Bitcoin is the easiest with the longest term viability.
I feel you. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But what if I told you that mindset and thinking, oh, I've achieved enough gains on something? Josh, I've sold out of stuff at 300% profit. You guys were talking about Zen. I posted in the chat one of my biggest trades that like could have been insane was something on Solana called ALP. I bought $900.
Well, listen, I'll tell, bro. I believe me. I understand it. You do your thing, and you know, like I'm saying, I think people should get educated, but.
30 days, that's crazy. But I sold early, and I'm not here to pump any coins or none of that. I don't care about any of that shit, because the same thing that you said, I like safe. Safer is the way to go.
Well, none of this sounds safe. I can't acknowledge that. I cannot say that with a conscience and say what you said is safe at all. Unfortunately, that's why I'm
not upset at that. But it's like, all I wanted to say is that mindset of thinking like something that I bought for $900. Sold it for $2,700. Oh, pretty good profit. Had I held that same position, not even for 60 days, man, like 40 days. I sold out of it in 10 days. Had I held that for another 20 days, that position would have bought me a Bitcoin. That's what I'm saying. And that was just some random shit coin, not what I was calling.
Oh, dude, believe me, dude, these happen all the time. That's it. Again, I have to go through Dex Screener. I'm sure you know. And anybody, you guys could see it. That's why. Even when we did it, there's a lot. But I think the real learning lesson from this and the real thing, again, I can't endorse any of this, but the real thing is the cycles. I think that's the true thing you could get out of this. And that's why I'm saying we've been here before. We have all been here before. We know what it's like when they're like, what's an NFT? And then it goes, remember the NFTs, bro? They were buying them for $2. And people made $250,000. That's why, you know, all of the coins. So I'm waiting until we enter alt season. That's what I was saying. But when that happens, I am going to sell my low quality stuff, and then I'm going to move it all into Bitcoin. That is my plan. So
25 unlocks are huge, like in the altcoin. Like all of the major altcoins have huge amount of unlocks.
Well, tell me this. What's your like equity? What's your stock long term looking like? If you're dabbling in all this, do you have a solid long-term already set up?
When I say solid long-term, like nothing that would allow for me to day trade comfortably in stocks, all of that has been moved to Solana or stable coins on Solana.
So I guess how much do you have or what percentage of your money is in Solana or these activities versus long-term equities?
I have a long-term Phantom wallet. That's what I like to call it. that is where I kind of employ like the 60-40, where I've got like 40% in stable coins that are getting yield, and then the other 60% is allocated into majors and just things that I've traded into very well, and just kind of like sold my initials, and then just kind of seems silly to sell it all when you just watch it go up the way that it goes. It's like it's free.
So no stock?
Say again?
No stock?
Oh no, some stock, but nowhere near the amount of crypto that I hold.
So are you saying like 90% of your money is in crypto or what?
Don't uproot your money tree.
What stocks do you
Don't
own, my
speculate.
friend?
UWMC at a cost basis of probably somewhere around like 350, 380. I've got I don't know if you guys are big on Las Vegas reopening plays, but I don't even want to say the ticker, honestly, but maybe I will. It's called DVI. It's a very depressed asset that it's like a low float, super low volume, and it's like I remember looking at it in 2020, thinking to myself like, when this goes back up, that's going to be like an instant 60% gain right there.
So then, but then I guess.
So you're all crypto.
Yeah, I would say it sounds like you don't really have a lot. Like, do you have a long term that you are like do you add monthly, or is it just all go to crypto?
That is what I consider to be my long term. It's
a long term is when you buy stocks, and stocks are like physical
Equity.
assets to a
Well,
company.
not even
You're owning an actual company. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is true, but it's more so just quality assets. I've nothing. Again, I'm saying when I got into like buying Ethereum at $8 and taking these risks and stuff, I already owned like the higher quality assets. So even like when I had that interview with Hugh, what you're talking about is alternative assets. That's why I get you're enthusiastic about it and passionate about it, and it will. And listen, if you're right, it's going to pay off, and your dreams are going to come true. And that's what I'm saying. I like risk, but the thing I advocate long-term safety, and before I'm jumping on anything speculative, we need quality assets. So I'm not against your plan, but I think you should start buying some stocks. Again, like literally get a long term, and then if what you have is gonna do what it's gonna do, it's gonna set you up and balance you. But I mean, you've listened to me. I think you listened to me, but you should know, man, the long term and what it is like that. We're talking different qualities of assets, and that's why I'm saying like I don't negate the opportunity of what you're discussing at all. I actually believe in it, but at the same time, the quality of assets, my main focus, and I think everybody's main focus until you establish that should be the quality names. And again, you like, even if you did half of your money, you see what I'm saying? Instead of being 99 crypto, Solana, altcoin, if you just put half in the big dogs and then you put the other half into that, I would be a lot more down with that. But in this case though too, because for most people, and I would say if you heard what he said and you like it, I think you educate yourself, but I would only do that if I have my long-term built out and established, if that makes any sense. Once I have quality, you got to take advantage of the Metas, the Redfins, the Nvidias, and once you have those quality, then you speculate. Then you could go for all of that. Again, I did the NFTs on the stream after we bought Bitcoin at $10,000 and sold it at the 60,000 the first time. You see, and then again, Ethereum was at $200 in front of everybody on stream. So that's why we did it. That's why, and then again, we got the NFTs.
Have money to buy.
They were a lot cheaper, but so once you get the quality long-term stuff, then I would say venture into this stuff. But I wouldn't support it like as a starting point, or even then. Again, without I'm in this environment and what the future offers us, alternatives can be very great. But I'm just in case, I cannot go through the next 5-10 years without quality assets, especially if who knows what's going to happen and all this craziness. And again, that's where alternatives could get a good gain and a benefit. But like the other stuff too is the high quality that's going to keep you tied and anchored. I've always said it. Imagine what all the economic lessons, what happens if we go through our Bretton Woods? What happens if we go through a debasement, OPEC, all the dollar, all these things, whatever it is. U.S. stocks are the biggest, most owned thing in the world. Whatever happens to the dollar and the value of the dollar, your long term is going to track it. You see what I'm saying? But crypto and other things, it will be different. So what I'm saying is not avoid it, but definitely diversify. That, like I've said, that's my plan for the decade. The diversification, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So I could support a little bit, but I can't support anything wild. And like I'm saying, you know, I think even in, you know, let's get a long term, bro. I don't know. Maybe this year.
Small good decisions.
Yeah, man. But I think build out some of the Solana stuff. But why not, man? Uncle Phil, let's get a let's add a deposit to some S&P 500.
At these prices, no, I'm a dividend portfolio, like something that wants to like yield money, monthly or quarterly. Like who doesn't want that? I look at the yield that I'm getting on UWMC, and I say to myself, like, that would hit way harder if it was 2 or 3 or 4 times bigger than it is. You know,
Well, remember, I'm focusing on the longevity. That's it. I get the gains. Remember, intelligent investor, adequate. That's why, like you're saying, I'm going to miss in the opportunities. And yeah, the mindset could limit me for sure. But in the long run of winning in investing, if you aim for adequate, that will get you usually a lot further than a lot of things. But hey, man, I get it if you don't like it, but I think that should be a goal for you, man, long term this year. Like some good stocks, cheap ones, not just high yield. Don't really focus on the yield, but like find some things out there. I think little by little, again, it's a great opportunity, man. Whatever happens with policy, the volatility, Trump's back, the tweets, the everything, it's going to be a very wild moment for equities. And I think crypto is going to benefit off of it, but, you know, get a little bit of everything. But, all right, man, I think on that note, we've been here for an hour 45, Chad. I've already been beat from the election. I've lost my voice like 8 times. So I don't know.
Thank you.
Any final questions?
I got one more for you.
All right, wrap it up, Patrick Paca.
So since, you know, the Republicans, obviously they have, you know, Congress and the presidency, what do you think, and I know this is a little bit of a broad question, but what are the biggest political risk now for the market coming in for the next at least 2 years?
Spending. That's it. Look at gold, central. That's it. All it is deficit. That's the only thing where, like, it still could go up under Trump. We'll see. Hopefully he comes in with a real aggressive plan, but that's the real thing. I mean, can inflation go up because economic activity goes up? Yeah, but politically, I mean, as long as I don't think he'll start another war, I think he'll make them again. Things are already bad, so it's easy to walk back from the political tensions when they're already this poor. But I really think the risk is just spending, debasing the currency further, and then also too, like, the hard landing. If the data, what if the data was just all fake, and then, you know, we're just hella behind, and then it just that's it, all the jobs go down. What, like, I don't know. It could be. I said it today. We have seen it, even like the crypto stuff, bro. Don't ever get caught in the moment. We've lived through this so many times. I'm live every day. We have literally lived through all of these things every single time. And just like with the data, how many times have we seen everybody excited and then, oh, it changed really bad. Oh, now we panic. Oh, now Powell responds. Oh, now it's bad. Okay, everybody on board. And then we play that game there too. So that's still a risk, but I don't know if that's political. There's the commercial banks and other stuff. Again, I don't think that's political when it comes down to
we could see another pandemic?
I mean, what the fuck? Yeah, what do you mean? How you gotta predict? You can't predict shit like that.
What?
Well, I'm thinking if China, because it looks like China's already bad. So I don't know. Maybe they do something weird.
Punt on that idea. Okay. Listen, if I ever start seeing people just dropping like flies on Twitter, I'll go on YouTube again and let you know. Like, don't worry, but it's not. I wouldn't put that on my list of.
Hopefully they don't ban you again like they did last time.
I mean, hopefully not, but you never know. That's why it's brought to you by you, the people. But overall, though, I think the government spending, that's what the problem was with inflation. A lot of everything boils down to the rampant government spending, as that is, I think, the biggest political risk. You blow up the deficit, you make poor financial decisions, and then you add that to trade policy or whatever else. But realistically, the deficit and the Treasury, that's why I keep saying the Treasury, that is when bonds make their final move, I think. the Treasury appointment, and then also gold as well.
So to build on that, I know you want to get going. Back to infrastructure ETFs, wouldn't that affect them negatively if they start cutting back on spending? Isn't that like our chance to maybe take an opportunity to have a play there with those?
Well, that's kind of the like I said, I wouldn't even touch the infrastructure stuff because it's just so high. I would only get the cheap ones. So if it did bring it down, hell yeah. But we don't know what they're going to do with the deficit. We don't know if it's going to increase. We don't know if it's going to go lower. If it does increase, why does it increase? If it does go down, like what if it's not infrastructure? What if he builds up infrastructure and cuts money to Ukraine and foreign aid, right? So it just really depends how they do it. But ultimately a net reduction or a attitude of fiscal conservativeness would be, I think, very well received. And if not, I don't know if I don't think he could afford it. I don't know if Trump can be as fiscally wild as the last administration, not because for any moral reason, but just for simple sustainability of like the debt. That's like the weird part, because if we do get into a hard landing, I mean, how much they'll stimulate out of it, but at that point, I mean, we are looking at a very weird landscape. So we'll see, but maybe then we get Bretton Woods 5 or whatever 3, but we'll see. We will see.
Thank you.
But Chad, I think that was great. I hope. How did you guys, YouTube chat? How did y'all like it? How did you guys like the Zoom call? You guys could leave your live review. That was fun though. An hour and 50 minutes. That was, some good conversation.
Thank you, Josh.
2 hours of full-on respectfulness,
you.
man.
Everybody
giving everybody respect. You gotta love that, man. That's
beautiful,
so
man. I
beautiful,
appreciate
bro.
it.
Welcome to the
50 people.
chat, baby.
I gotta wear my merch next time.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you, Josh. Awesome, man.
Thank you so much, Josh.
All right, man. Well, I love you all, bro. We're going to do this again. I really enjoyed it. If not, though, you better be on stream tomorrow, baby. And don't forget why we're here, baby. Finger to the sky. God bless all of you. You have a great rest tonight. And get ready. There's a lot of opportunity, bro.
Let's go.
Oh,
get the long term. Get the long term.
Right,
Finger to the sky.
You have a wonderful evening, y'all.
To God be the glory, baby.
Peace.